What were the extraordinary things observed by those who were with our Prophet, pbuh, during his birth? Reply our dear brother from his mother's language. The Holy Mother, Hazza Amin, describes that happy moment as follows. One night, in the 6th month of my pregnancy, a person appeared to me in a dream and said, "O Amina, know that you are pregnant for the good of the worlds. When you give birth, name him Muhammad and don't tell anyone about your situation." Then it was time to give birth. My father-in-law, Abdul Muttalib, had gone to circumambulate the Kaaba. I was at home. Suddenly, I heard a tremendous sound. I felt like melting with fear. And what did I see? A white bird appeared, came to me, and covered my back with its wing. From that moment on, I was afraid. There's nothing left for anxiety. I took a look next to me. They were offering me sherbet in a white bowl. As soon as I poured the bowl and drank it, a sea of light surrounded me. And Muhammad was born. The Holy Mother describes the postpartum period as follows. I saw a flag in the east, a flag in the west, and a flag above the Kaaba. The birth was completed. I looked at the baby. He was in prostration and raised his finger to the sky. A white cloud immediately descended, swaddled the baby and covered it. I heard a voice, "Travel the easts and wests, tour the seas, so that the creatures can know Muhammad with his name, attributes, and form." After a while, the cloud disappeared. On the same night, Hazia Amina saw a light and watched the palaces and mansions of Damascus in the light of this light. Healing and observations of Fatima Hutun. When the Lord of the universe came to the world, his beloved mother was accompanied by Shifa Hatun, the mother of Abdurrahman bin Auf, and Fatima Hatun, the mother of Osman bin Ebul As. Shifa Hatun, who was working as a midwife, describes her observation at that moment as follows. I was there when the messenger of Allah was born. I caught up immediately. A voice came to my ear. May Allah's mercy be upon him. The area between the east and the west was filled with light. I even saw some of the palaces of the land of Rum. Then I took the messenger of Allah in my arms and started breastfeeding him. Such a state came over me that my body started to tremble and my eyes became dark. I lost sight of the baby. A voice asked, "Where did he go?" He asked. "They took him to the east," was the answer. These words have never left my mind. Until that time, as soon as the messenger of Allah declared his prophethood, I immediately ran and entered the circle of faith with the first Muslims. One Fatima Hatun, on the other hand, described in her memory that the house that witnessed the birth on that happy night was filled with light, and the stars in the sky hung down as if they were going to fall on them in bunches. Another characteristic of our Prophet was that he was born circumcised and with his umbilical cord cut off. On his back, between his two shoulder blades, right at the level of his heart, was the seal of prophethood, Hatam-e-Nubuwwat. It was made up of hairy, fluffy, reddish pearl-like moles coming together and was the size of a partridge egg. This seal was a sign that our prophet was the last expected prophet. Sa'ib bin Yazid, one of the companions, says the following about the seal of prophethood of our prophet. When I was a child, my aunt took me to the Prophet Muhammad, pbuh, and said, "O Messenger of Allah, this nephew of mine has a pain in his foot." Said, the Messenger of Allah covered my head with his hand and prayed for blessings on me. Then he performed ablution. I drank the ablution water. Then I stood behind him and saw the Prophet Muhammad, who was like the big buttons of a tent or a partridge's egg, between his shoulders. While Hazrat Ali, Ara, was describing the great prophet, he says, "His two oars were wide, and it was obvious from the prophethood Hatim between his oars that he was the last of the prophets."